have with us my crew, along with a couple of dogs. Today we're going to talk about leash pulling and how to stop it. We're also going to talk about some tools that you can use to help make it a little bit easier and facilitate that easy transition from getting your dog pulling to getting your dog walking nicely next to you. So one of our most popular tools that we like to use is this Prong Collar. We like to use a Herm Sprenger. You can see most people think it looks like a torture device. It's got these little prongs at the end. They're actually blunted so it doesn't hurt. And I've done this video before and I'm going to do it one more time for you guys today. Who's the crazy lady who's going to put a prong around our neck?
Nicole is.
Isn't that going to hurt your dog? Isn't that going to choke them out? Isn't that going to puncture them? Okay, so for everyone who doesn't know, human necks are going to be a lot more sensitive than a dog's neck. It's not going to be able to withstand as much as a dog. But as you can see, I have this on my own neck. Obviously it's not fitted to me because I'd have to take several links out, but just for demonstration purposes, I want everyone to see that this thing is completely around me. I'm actually putting pressure, okay? And it's right here. The position should be right here at the very top, so it's not crushing the larynx or the trachea. And again, I'm putting pressure, and yet I'm able to breathe, I'm able to talk, I'm having no issues whatsoever. It's not puncturing me, it's not causing me excruciating pain. And like I said, I've got pressure. You can see the level of pressure that I've got here. I don't know if you want to get up close. I cannot put my finger through the prongs right here because of the pressure I have, okay? Just so you can all see that. And yet I'm still able to talk. Normally, I'm not having any problems breathing. All right, so I do this to show people that this is not a torture device. This is actually designed not to choke a dog out. It is the safest collar you can put on your dog. Absolutely. So, now that I've done that. So why do we use this? Because it helps communicate, and that's the key word. It helps communicate with your dog more effectively. So this tells the dog what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And it does it without choking the dog out. So any flat collar, any collar even like this, where it's a leash and collar combined called a slip lead, can choke a dog out if it's not positioned properly, if they're constantly pulling. It's going to create a lot of pressure on their neck, okay? And you can then hear the dog doing that choking sound. And you've all heard it. If you ever had a dog that pulls, you've all heard it. We all know what it sounds like. We've all experienced it. We've all seen dogs doing it to themselves, and we feel really bad because they can't breathe and they're doing it to themselves. They're choking themselves out. So that's what the Prong Collar helps with. It helps to prevent that. It communicates clearly that when you're pulling, there's going to be a little tightening here to let you know you're not allowed to do that. And then if you release, pressure goes away. Okay? It's the most effective way. It's also the safest way. If anyone has any questions, they want to actually see a real live demo other than on video, feel free, set up a free consultation, come on out, and we'll show you how to fit it properly, we'll show you how to use it properly, and it does have to be fit properly, because one of the biggest mistakes people make is they get a prong collar, they put it on their dog, and then it just hangs really loose, like this. See how loose it's hanging? And I don't even have it in, but if I did, it would be way too loose. I can fit my entire arm in here, okay? Well, what you want is you want it to be tight enough that you can only fit a couple of fingers in there, okay? And you want it to the point where when it's on, it's gonna rest right here at the very top, where I had a position on my neck, okay? That's where you want it to rest. And then once you actually have it on your dog, you want to condition your dog to it. You don't want to put it on and then suddenly start pulling really hard, because then they're going to become afraid of it. So you want to condition them gently to the Prong Collar, okay, so that they start to understand that you're communicating with them, not just punishing them. All right? Hi, cutie pie.
Say hi. We got three viewers.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Four
Appreciate
viewers.
you coming on.
4 viewers.
Hi, sweetheart. So this is 5.5-month-old Cash. He has had a Prong Collar on before, but only one time. So we're going to, this is actually a little bit big for him. Actually, want to take a look at Barty over there. Her collar is fit properly, her prong collar. You can see
just a touch loose, but it's comfortable for her right now.
Right, so you can see it's positioned in a proper place on her neck. It has enough laxity that you can provide correction when needed. And you can see she's not screaming, she's not in pain, she's not being tortured. And the leash is loose, and that's where you want it to be. The majority of the time, you want that leash to have a little bit of laxity to it so that it's not putting constant pressure on the dog. The only time that there should be pressure on that leash is when you're giving a correction. The rest of the time, it should be loose the way it is right now. So one of the things you want to do also when you're fitting this is get the right size. This is obviously not the right size. It's way too big for him. For a dog his size, we should actually be using a collar like that. But for demonstration purposes, this is what we have available to us right this moment. So we're going to use it and make it work. So you can use a variety of tools to get your dog to walk nicely on the leash. We have here a slip lead, but we do also have prong collar. So for demonstration purposes today, we're going to use the prong collar, and then I will go a little bit later and show you the slip lead so you can see what that looks like. So again, loose, not putting any pressure. I'm just kind of walking, seeing what he does, cool. And then if he does, I'm letting him kind of self-correct. Good boy. Good boy. You see how loose this little big now with the leash? He's obviously not going to pull. Regardless of whether we have a prong collar on him or not. He just wants to follow me because I have food. Alright, so we have,
This is her first time on the phone.
so we have Barty here. She literally just came in this morning. She never had a prong collar on. We're going to condition her to it a little bit. And the way you condition a dog to a prong collar, you have to be very gentle. She's not moving in the direction that I want her to move, so I'm just putting slight pressure and then release. Slight pressure and release. I'm not pulling really hard. I'm not jerking it really fast. I'm just getting her used to the pressure of the collar and asking her to come in my direction. Good. Come in my direction. Good. So very gentle pressure and release. Pressure and release. Good. Good. Because you want a dog to have a pleasant experience. You want her to understand that this is a communication tool, not a punishment tool. So at no point so far have I put a lot of pressure on. Or have I actually corrected her with this? Right now, I'm just getting her used to having it on, feeling her own self-correction, like she's not doing what I'm asking her, like she's not following what I'm asking, like she tries to pull in the opposite direction. Right now, she's not, because apparently she's very driven, and she loves these treats, and so she's going to follow. But now she got distracted, so there's a little bit of tension. Good. Good. So, very slight tug. Very gentle, and then she moves in my direction. No yelping, no whining, no crying out. So you can see she's getting distracted by Fred, who's our cameraman today, by other dogs, by our other trainers here. So this is a dog that likes to cool. She can be a little bit skittish. She likes to bolt if she hears something or sees something that she doesn't like or causes her a little bit of anxiety. conditioning her to the collar. You're not putting a lot of pressure on her. You're getting her used to it. There was no need for any harsh corrections. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we use this tool properly and get her to understand that you're trying to communicate with her. Can we put a slip lead on him?
We got 3 viewers again.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us.
We got Heather Holding, Matt McDonald.
Hey, Matt. When you bring Sorsha in, I'm sure she needs her nails clipped again. Who wants to take? I'll take her.
Can I go get
So the other tool that we use is a slip lead. Again, you want to position it way up top. So if you've ever seen show dog competitions, you see where they position the leash. Way up right here. See, as high as you can get on the neck. And then position it so that it's right behind your ears. The reason why you want to do that is it's a lot easier to control the head than it is to control the whole body. Okay? One of the biggest mistakes people use is they put a harness on the dog and they expect that that's going to be an effective communication tool, and it's not. Instead, what it does is it facilitates pulling, and it makes it that much harder for them to control their dog. And a lot of times it can be dangerous because dogs can slip out of the harness very easily. And now you have a loose dog running around who's not properly trained and won't be recalled. So with this, you have a clear communication channel. You can direct the dog physically with this leash, and it's a lot easier to direct the head, which is only a few pounds, versus an entire body, which can be anywhere from small dog to a huge dog. You're looking upwards of 200 pounds, some dogs. So you control the head, the body will follow. Guaranteed 100% of the time, you control the head, the body has to follow, unless it's disconnected. Which, if you're walking your dog, the body's going to be connected to the head.
Yeah.
So, rule of thumb, where the head goes, the body will follow. So, it's much easier to direct the head than it is an entire body. Hence why we like to use slip leads or prong collars.
I used the example of there's no harnesses on horses. It's all on the head.
Yep. So Cash is very free driven. He's probably not going to demonstrate a lot of pulling. Ah, there we go. So there was slight pressure with the leash, and then he came running. He was distracted by Milo, who was his buddy, and as well as Lexi, who's also his buddy. Come. Ah.
You got Karen.
Trying to create an opportunity for him to pull.
How you doing, Karen? Welcome to the chat.
No. Good. So one little correction, and he came running back.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy. Good. And then I gave him a report because he did the right thing. He came running back. He got a little correction because he went and chased after the food, but you saw immediately he turned around as soon as he felt that pressure on the leash. All right, Lexi, you want to demo Milo?
Yeah, so Milo's here I got from a shelter. He's extremely skittish in just about everything. So when I first got him, I didn't have him on a prong. I had him in a regular flat buckle collar. And he would zigzag. He would walk circles around me. He was constantly checking back, making sure there was no bears chasing after us. Just all over the place all the time. If he saw a person come out, he'd try to run the opposite direction. So the prong was a night and day difference. I mean, I couldn't walk when I first got him because it was just so frustrating on both dog and human. And as soon as I put this prong on him, I was walking him more than a mile a day, and it was awesome. So what I first started doing is when I get him in the honor sit, so he's at my heel at all times. I just tone, do a little pressure with the prong, heel, and he's ready to go. Every time I turn, a little pressure with the prong, and he comes right back to my side. Now, when he's putting his nose to the ground, I do a little flick of the wrist. That's all I need. I'm not pulling my arm up. I'm not yanking his head towards me. All I'm doing is little flicks of the wrist. You see how we did a circle there? All I did was guide it back with that prong, and he came right back to me. Now, if we were outside of my apartment complex, you get a little reaction with other dogs. Just excitement, just wanted to go off and play, and we get frustrated because he's on the leash. I would do a little flick of the wrist to get his head back into the right direction, and he'd come right back. So he's looking off, looking at the table, with a little flick, come right back. I stop, he sits. I was not able to do that when I first got it. It was a nightmare.
Wasn't it me to recommend the prong?
The cameraman Ray recommended the prong. That's the best recommendation I ever got. Look at the wrist, and that's it. Simple.
So if anyone has any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to us, share this video, like us, get your friends and family to like us, and share the video. We're going to also post this on, if we can, we'll post it on YouTube. And then if you can go in and become a subscriber, we're going to start posting all of our videos on YouTube so that you can get content like this anytime you want. And please tell all your friends and family to get on YouTube and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Awesome.